Call the Kingston Springs Board of Commissioners for February 21st to order. Could everyone please rise and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John, can you call the roll?
John Heatherly.
Here.
Tony Grove.
Here.
Mike Vargas.
Here.
Jeff Lorenz. Here. Lynn Wayne.
Here. All right. Do we have the minutes have been circulated? Everyone should have had a chance to look at the January 17th minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Passes. Someone's had a chance to look at the agenda. I don't believe there's any amendments.
I have one amendment, please, to 11A. The word ARK is misspelled. It should be A-R-K.
Oh, my apologies.
Nope.
Thank you.
That's all.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Do we have any announcements from commissioners? Jeff, you have anything?
No.
Postponing the tree planting this weekend because of the ARPA has control of the parking. We don't until March 9th. March 9th.
Probably a wise decision. Josh, anything?
I'm good.
I just want to thank you guys for a great retreat. I think it was really good, and it's good to get to know the new commissioners a little bit better and to discuss the coming year. So thanks everyone, and thanks John and Debbie for putting that together. You did a great job as usual. So, all right, we can move on to community input and concerns. If you've got something you'd like to say to the commission, just come up to the podium here, state your name, your address, and then you're free to address the commission. Note the commission can't respond to you, but just share your concerns. And I believe for the ARC, you guys are on the agenda, so we'll just get to you guys in a little bit. If that's all right.
Hi, I'm Janine Whited, and this is Albert White. And I just wanted to bring to your attention to make sure that you know the practices of the contractor that you have, Andrew Perry or Perry, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. His behavior, and I have a recording here today where he said if you want to sue the city, he's a potential financial liability to you. He used to work in Portland. I don't know if you all are aware of that, Portland, Tennessee. And he made a complaint against a councilman who questioned his work during a meeting. And the guy just happened to say, you know, I've tried to look for stuff online, and what I found online, I probably know more about you than you know about yourself. He filed a complaint. That investigation cost the city $11,000, no findings, and then they terminated his employment, which cost him $22,000 because of the way he deals. If you want to look at the articles of Portland Sun about Andrew Perry. The reason I care about this, and I looked, I would have never known except how he behaved with me and with my cousin. This all started when some renters at my cousin's property called and said this sign was put on their property.
And I got no time, no letter, no nothing saying that I need to fix anything to start with. And then when we questioned him about it, he said, well, I stuck it in your mailbox. My mailbox is federally protected. You don't belong in my mailbox. I'm sorry. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not anything. But stay out of my mailbox. And
Everybody else's mailbox.
And he said he puts it in everybody's mailbox, but that's on them. I don't have nothing to do with that.
So then after that, we said, let's go to the city and see what's going on. And then they produced a letter that he had given them that day that was going to be mailed. So we picked up the letter based on the sign. Because you think if you're a renter and somebody says this building is unsafe and its use or occupancy has been prohibited, okay, scared our renters half to death. So we came down and we got the letter. And we said, all right, so all these, you've got these violations here, this code, what do you want him to repair? Where's the file that shows what you want him to repair? He wasn't in, the city manager couldn't find his records, so he said, come back Tuesday. Came back Tuesday, spent way too much time just trying to get him to give details. And he kept saying, I thought we were going to go out to the property and I'll show you. And I said, well, maybe we don't have to go to the property. If you could just say, like, don't you have a list of what, and he claims he keeps no notes while he's in the field. Some were eventually produced because I challenged the open records law, which he thinks that nobody at City Hall is there for the behest of anybody who comes in and wants to look at something today. So you might want to like inform him that he doesn't need to quote that law because he does not understand it. But the bottom line here is he's been uncooperative. Mr. White just wanted, and I went for him because he gets frustrated about this, he's irritated, he's upset, and he gets confused over it. So I've been talking to Mr. Perry, or how do you say his name? I don't want to misquote it. So how do you say that?
Perry.
Perry. He would never give me the details for that letter on the 14th that said the property was condemned. So we finally, after 30, 45 minutes, went to the property, and he said, I'll take you to the property and I'll point it out to you. We get to the property, and he says, that siding's letting moisture in the house. And I said, well, it can't because it's just a faux covering. There's a trailer under there. And then we went around the side, and I'm like, see, there's the metal. No moisture can get in. And he started ignoring me. And I said, does it matter not to you, and I have a recording of this if you care to have it, does it matter not to you that you can tell that moisture doesn't get in there? He goes, it matters not to me. And that's been his attitude. All Mr. White wanted to know is, just tell me what to fix. I have a recording from today where he said, let me tell you what my responsibilities are. The general codes enforcement, I don't have to get specific. On Tuesday, he said, I took pictures. Look at those pictures and see what to fix. Do you all mind looking at these? Would you be able to look at any picture and know what he had a problem with, especially a picture that you can't even see?
And today was my only day off work. He said, I heard something about the trash around the place, which I haven't been every month. First thing I did, as soon as I found out that's what he had a problem with, I went and took care of it. He didn't tell me anything.
So we went out to the property Tuesday, finally, because he was adamant that that's the only way we were going to find out what the problems were. And then when we were out there, he stopped talking to me because I was like, oh, wait a minute. You thought that was a problem because moisture could get in, but it's not. Because look, there's metal behind it. It's just it's two trailers put together and a shell was put around them. That's just cosmetic sided. He didn't care. So he goes, I'll make you a list, I'll make you a list. He threatened to call in the state fire marshal, which to me is a retaliatory move.
Just because I asked what you want me to fix.
So come back in today to get his list and his new letter, which probably has at least 50% more codes violations on it.
More because I asked what you wanted me to fix the first time around.
And this new letter still is not detailed enough. Like he had a picture of the underneath of the trailer, and I said, okay, well, let's do the windows. They're easier. The windows were new. Windows have to be weatherproof, da-da-da, whatever. And I said, okay, you got a bunch of pictures here of doors and windows. Which ones had a problem? And he wouldn't answer me. He kept saying he didn't have to be specific. And so then John finally said, just check all the windows. And he goes, you can hire a contractor to check the windows if you don't understand the code. And I said, I understand the code. They're supposed to be weatherproof, and to us, there's nothing wrong with them. So if you want Mr. White to fix a window or a door, please tell him which one you don't like. Never did. So I don't want to like bore you with more and more details, but this was, I'll guarantee you, John, do you think we probably have at least good 3 hours of conversation that went this way? And
I guess this is you guys that don't belong to me.
But the fact that he condemned the property, and in the letter that we went to pick up because of the sign, he said that a first notice was put in, that there was a first alert that he ignored. And I said, he never got anything. And he goes, I put this courtesy card. And I said, you put it on the door? And he goes, no, I put it in the box.
Mailbox.
And he goes, I do it all the time. I go to the trailer park twice a week. He goes, I do a bunch of those. And he kept denying that he had a list. And I said, so you remember, but they kept denying there were any more records on this. And then finally he slipped up and said that he emails John every day that he works, which is Tuesday and Thursday. So John did go print those once he admitted he had them. I bet you that was 30 minutes into the conversation. And on there, on one of the days, I think it was the second one, he goes, place condemnation placard. There might be squatters in the house. And I said, would you rather assume that there are squatters in a house than that it's occupied?
But yet
he thought it was vacant. He kept saying it was vacant because he said, you all told him that.
He said
the police department. I said, why did you think it was vacant? And he said the police department told me it was vacant. I knocked on the door, nobody answered. I challenged him on Tuesday. Just because somebody had come to the door, you can't assume it's a vacant property. Did you check the electric and utility companies? You can see utilities being paid. You okay? But anyway, so I think you might get it. But he did. He told me that his first assumption that it was vacant was because the police department told him.
Okay, let me say something.
I'm not going to say if they're different.
Yeah, I mean, somebody else might have.
Well, when the water main broke up there on top of the hill, which ran down through my yard and tore my yard all up, he's the one that called the police department to let them know that there was a water main break there.
And they
he
blocked
was-
the road.
And they blocked the road. He's standing there at the trailer park going up there talking to him. They know he lives there, but yet it's a squatter's in my place. They've been there for
I
18
think
months.
the
If you
point
go
of
up there
that
twice
is-
a week, you know somebody's
The
living
point
there.
of that is, would you really, your codes guy, rather jump to the conclusion, he saw a cat there, because I said, what made you think there were squatters? I saw curtains. Now, does that sound logical to you?
It's
I
not
thought there
living
was a
under curtains.
squatter. It was vacant, unoccupied property, and I thought there were squatters because I saw curtains, and one day there was a cat in there. And that's what he kept insisting. 2 letters, because after the 14th, John called him, and John thought that Andrew told him that was a mistake. He didn't get a first notice. So don't mail that letter. We'll start over. When I came in Tuesday, there's a new letter. What was my train of thought? Sorry, y'all, I have a memory issue and I forget my train of thought.
I don't
But
know.
anyway,
forget
so
about the first letter. We're going to start over. No, I'm not forgetting about the
well,
first
but
letter.
then we
You
got the
condemn my
second
place
letter,
without
and
the
he
first
still,
letter. So
but he still
you
wouldn't.
can't
But
do
and
over.
today he told me when I asked him, because I got records from John and I saw where he took a copy. Because when I asked him Tuesday, so he showed me the courtesy card, a blank one, and I said, well, what did you mark on the one you put on 164 Hillcrest in the mailbox? He goes, I don't remember. Is that okay with y'all?
I can't fix
I mean, I don't
whatever
expect you to
wrong.
answer. These are. So he puts his card in there. He says it's a courtesy card. I put a bunch of them out. I don't keep any record of it. I don't take any notes while I'm out there. But then I get these detailed emails that he sends to him. So are you telling me that he does all that from memory? I don't know why he thinks he can withhold his records. But if you saw those emails, and I think John can produce them for you because he pulled them for me if you're interested. How the man, now today he did pull he gave me some notes from other properties, but I've never seen it for 164 Hillcrest. So he finally gave up after Tuesday, adamantly saying he took no notes. Finally produced some notes today. John got them from him, but Hillcrest wasn't on there. So the whole thing is, I think you've got a person here. He's ready to sue him for getting in the mailbox. I think we might need to
He
sue him
works for the city of Kingston Springs.
Well, he
so,
thinks that because he's a contractor. Today he said, I think I told you this earlier, you can file a lawsuit if you want.
Ain't my problem.
Well, he didn't say that my problem.
That's
But
what he says.
that's my thing. After I found out last night when I looked up, I'm like, who is this guy? Because he should know. Like, he keeps telling me I don't have to give you details. And I said, I think you got to give him a report that tells him what you want him to fix. He can't read your mind. A picture's subjective. He can't look at the picture and know what's wrong in there that you
Black
see.
picture.
And he, but anyway, so he's just been uncooperative. And he said today that it's not his job to be specific. He got upset when I said, okay, what's wrong with the shed? And he's like, just got, it's falling down. And then Tuesday he goes, if you went out and looked around that property, you'd see what's wrong with it. And I'm like, I see a 40-plus-year-old trailer that has some, what is that material about the siding particle? Pressboard siding that is, the paint's peeling off on some of the sides of it and the bottoms. That's how he was able to see the metal. That's how I was able to go, oh, look, I really thought he would go, oh, okay, no moisture can get in there. It's okay. He didn't care. And he threatened to call on the state fire marshal. He recommended John again today because he didn't like me trying to get details on the new letter, which has more codes. What's wrong with the foundation? Which I'm confused in because he said he didn't have jurisdiction over trailers. I should keep recommended to John that they call on the state fire marshal. To me, that's punitive and retaliatory. If you hear these recordings, you will hear him just like, I have the authority, I can do it. So I just think you need to know. I don't think, he's got a property in the city I no longer do because I recently quit claimed mine to somebody else. But I do care that the city shouldn't, I mean, I think the people in Portland are probably like, are you kidding me? What could our parks department have had with $33,000 that we had to put out to defend this guy who's got complaints from citizens about how he communicates? And John, I think John talked to him Tuesday, correct? About how he communicates.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
All I want to know is what you want me to fix before you can tell us stuff. That's
And
all.
he still was
You
not
give me an
specific
opportunity to
today.
fix Nothing.
John, did he give specifics today?
Nope.
When I asked?
I can't talk about that discussion.
Okay. He didn't. He didn't. It was argumentative. It was, I don't have to answer. So I just think you
Well,
should
you got
know.
recordings of it.
I think you have a potential lawsuit waiting to happen. And at the very least, you have somebody who has an ego that he thinks he can do what he wants and push property owners around, but not help him solve the problems. He just wanted to, just tell me what you don't like. And I can't believe that that's okay with you all, that that's how you want your codes person.
Because actually most of the trash that he was talking about that's down in the woods come from the water main break that washed everything out from under, that might have been under the trailer and everybody else's that's up on the hill. The water main and the water washed it all down into the woods. I didn't know. I didn't even know that there was a water main break up there and the water went straight underneath my trailer washing out stuff, you know, my front yard and everything else. The renter didn't tell me. They come and fix the yard. I don't have a problem with that. But all the trash that was back there was from that. If you have a problem with that, let me know. I cleaned it up today, my only day off. I do AAA calls. I help people every day. That's what I do for a living. I run AAA calls, fix your husband, wife, whatever, flat tires along the interstate. I take them gas when they run out of gas. I mean, that's what I do. I help people. And if I put a donut on their car, I say, hey, be careful. That don't have the traction that the other 3 tires have. Be careful. 55 miles is what they recommend, 55 mile an hour, because I want to help. He doesn't want to help. I said, what's the problem? I gave you pictures. You just seen them pictures. You see, can you really tell there's trash in the yard? Can you tell anything about them pictures without somebody saying, well, it's that window or the trash over there behind the shed, whatever. I can't fix what I don't know. So instead of even doing that to start with, you just straight up put a condemned thing on my door.
And I'll tell you that Tuesday he produced colored pictures from 2 days that were here with that. So there were more than those. Well, those were smaller. And I still said, I still don't know when I look at this picture what about this is the picture of the whole trailer. You have this code. This code says the house is unfit for use. It's unsafe because it's either insanitary or it's got vermin. Or I said, so there could be a plethora of things here that are wrong. So what's wrong with the house that is violating this code? That should be a simple question. So, he said he does things to intimidate, like to. I don't get very easily intimidated, and I'm pretty quick on my feet, and I catch things. But somebody who's like, you've got a low-income person in the trailer park who barely is educated, and the city codes inspector's challenging them. And then today, if they brought up to him, did you get permits when that thing was installed? And I said, I don't know. It was 40 years ago.
Had dirt roads back then.
And he said, I said, do you know what the codes were 40 years ago? He said, I don't have to. And I said, well, he goes, but you had to have a permit, I'm sure. And I said, well, I don't know. Why don't you check the records and see if there's a permit on it? I don't know. And he goes, I don't have to check. Why don't you make a records request? And I said, I don't care. I don't care if there was a permit 40 years ago. It's been there for over 40 years, and it's grandfathered in. However it was put up there, whether you think it looks like crap today, that's how it was put in 40 years ago. There were probably some codes and some permits, but I don't know what they are. And when I said, do you care? He said, it doesn't matter to me. And I'm like, then why'd you bring it up? Just to be difficult? So, I mean, if I didn't know, that to me, if I was like, that could have been a scare tactic. Threatening to call in the state fire marshal is a scare tactic. And Mr. White still doesn't know all the details. So I'm going to help him file an appeal because you only have 10 days to file an appeal. And he might get everything fixed, and Andrew might say it's okay, but he might not. And if he doesn't say it's okay, then Albert's lost his right to appeal. So that's it. I don't want to take up too much time.
Oh, by the way, the graveyard down at the bottom of the hill there, for 2 years I took care of that, my cost, to make Kingston Springs look a little better. My mower, my gas, my trailer, my truck, my time, my blazer got chewed up by all the rocks in there. Myself. Nobody gave me gas money, anybody. So I'm not here to make Kingston look worse. I'm here to try to make it look better. And I helped the mayor. The first time I seen the mayor out there weed eating, I went there and told him to go home. The first time he got touched, and weed eated it myself.
He said, you don't need back here, you're an old man.
You're an old man, go home, I'll take care of it myself. And I took care of it for 2 years after that at my cost. And this is what I get. And thank you. I didn't go around asking anybody for any money.
And nobody's debating the property looks, like I told him. I said, I look at the pictures, it's an old, ugly property. I said, there's paint peeling. Do you care about paint peeling? Because I said, the little blue thing down here, the house, I said, when I drove past down there today, I noticed the paint was peeling on that. So, will they get cited? No, the paint alone doesn't matter. But it matters. But now he told me today he's got to replace all that siding. All of that cosmetic siding. I'll tell you now, Albert can't afford. Do you know what that would cost? Probably, it's a huge property. It would probably cost him $40,000 to re-side
Ain't
it
worth it.
when it's a veneer over 2 trailers. And Andrew could see that because he took pictures, which I don't think I saw those pictures. I'll have to look. But anyway.
It's 2
I think
trailers
you
bolted
get it.
together, complete roof still.
But he'll
metal's in
he'll
there.
probably paint it.
I mean, you can't get,
I mean,
water
it's
can't get
particle
inside,
board
the
or whatever
rooms
can-
can't get inside.
Yeah, the
No,
renter
it
was
ain't very
there.
pretty, it's been there for 40 years.
Yeah,
but
when I asked him today.
the
'cause
inside's been, I've done a lot of work to the inside, which nobody's seen. I mean, I've re-drywalled everything, and a year and a half, 2 years ago, well, actually 2 years ago before they moved in there, so I mean,
Yeah, those renters
Is what
have
it
been
is.
there for almost 18 months, September of 2017.
and I get all the trash from the top of that hill, right down to my yard. Always have, always will, always cleaned it up. Never called nobody else to come pick up the trash from everybody else in the trailer park. I
Yeah,
just took
people
care
who
of it
drive
myself.
out of there, that's the
I just took
yard
care of it
and they
myself.
throw stuff in.
I'm not here to cause problems, I'm here to try to help.
So
And I'll
he's-
fix what's wrong if you tell me before
And
you
he's
can
going to
give me
try to do what
stuff.
he can, but I can tell you right now, he can't afford to replace the siding. He'll paint it so it looks better, but it's an
Oh,
old
yeah.
house. So, and Andrew did not want to hear that you told me Tuesday it was a problem because it let moisture in. When I tried to tell you it didn't let moisture in, today you go, you got to fix it anyway. It's in disrepair.
Right now, we just talk
So-
over and over and over and over. And that's it.
But I can give you more details if you're interested. Just let me know.
More recordings, because we got him hollering at her and stuff, which, good thing I wasn't there, because I wouldn't tolerate that. I don't know if you guys would let somebody tolerate hollering at anybody in your family, but I wouldn't have tolerated it, so I'm glad I wasn't there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, department reports. Everyone's had a chance to read through those. Do you have anything to add? Does anyone have anything to add?
I do. On the vehicles, is this, do I need to talk about it now?
No, that's a new business.
Okay.
We don't
All right.
see what y'all see, so we don't know
Oh.
what y'all are looking at.
You guys gotta check out Facebook.
We done?
We do, we just get
Oh.
this agenda. I don't know like what the reports and all that stuff.
And then the only thing I have is under fire.
Is that in here?
Oh.
Don't forget to match for Saturday night. I know the episode of town, I think the rest of y'all are.
It's raining and change, I'm not gonna. Right there.
If you don't come up.
Oh, God, let's.
Yeah, there's no problem showing up, so come on. Yeah, 5:30 and dinner starts at 6:30, work at 7:30.
What's the dress?
It's casual, like blue jeans and a collared shirt. It's not nothing.
Tony, I have a couple of things for you.
Yes.
You all have a copy of the audit. Good reading.
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you.
My favorite reading of the year.
Yes, and everything looks good. And, you know, we've had a finding in there since 2005 when we had the state audit. And that finding was based upon, because there was only Audrey and myself, so we couldn't have good internal controls. But now that we have enough staff, you'll see he's put an extra little note, so we're hoping that next year that's going to disappear completely. But that's the only finding, which always makes me very happy. The other thing I wanted to tell you was that Joey had her second CMFO test and passed it, so she's well on her way, doing a great job.
How many tests did she get?
It's 11, isn't it, John?
Really?
11. She's passed the first 2, so,
I'm sorry. Yeah, it went through November.
yeah.
All right. John, anything in addition?
No, sir, I do have something for legal updates.
All right, well, we can move right to legal updates then.
So, Martha Brooke, Attorney Perry, sends her regrets and apologies. She had the flu, she got better, but then she spiked a fever today, and we thought that it was best that she not be at the meeting this evening. The only thing that she did have was an update on the Comcast franchise. Comcast has agreed to delete the last sentence. I believe the franchise agreement was in your packets. Comcast has agreed to delete the last sentence of the first paragraph on page 3. We'll also need to add a clause at the end of the paragraph that says the city will accept a contract amendment requested by Comcast to match the terms of any other better deal that we may give to another provider. Otherwise, she's satisfied with the terms. Would encourage everyone to review Comcast's definition of revenue as that determines how they pay Springs. Comcast wants to review the franchise agreement against our old ordinances related to prior franchises before they give their final approval. She is suggesting that we give Comcast that material, and then this will need to be passed by ordinance in 2 readings as well as a public hearing. She's suggesting that we add the first reading to the March Commission agenda.
unfinished business, so under new business, item A is motion to approve resolution 19-001, authorizing appropriations for financial aid to the ARC, a nonprofit organization whose services benefit the general welfare of the residents of this municipality. Has a ordinance before. Do you have anything to add to this, or?
No, sir.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? There's a lot of folks from the ARC here. Do they want to add something?
Can I stay here?
Yeah, you're on the go speak.
Yeah, well, the ARC, started in 2001, and as you all know, the flood kind of brought the ARC to what it is now. I mean, it's grown so much over the years, and your continued support is so wonderful for this organization. I think y'all know what we're doing in this town and this area, so thank you for your support, and we'll keep growing as fast as we can. So thank you guys for all you do.
One more thing. I think the reason that we sent an updated letter a couple months ago maybe, we've taken on the Meals on Wheels program completely. We used to work part-time with Mid-Cumberland, and they would supplement, we would supplement, we'd work together, but we've taken it on all up ourselves. Our budget for that alone is $50,000 a year. So we've had to come to other groups and try to find more fundraising avenues, more grants and things like that. So we appreciate any help you give, of course. And the citizens, the elderly citizens are the most underserved in the public, I think. So that's our...
We're serving like 50
yes.
Right now.
We went from 25 approximately to 50 when we took it over because our food is so much better now. We're getting it from the Nashville Food Project. And yeah, the budget for each client is about $80 a month. We have 50, so it's pretty big. But we love it, and we wouldn't want to do anything else, but we just need more help now as we've taken this on. So thank you.
All right, and of course that would go into the budget process when we actually allocate the funds later anyway, but I appreciate that. And also, there's a couple opportunities. There's an online fundraiser to help the Meals on Wheels program that I hope everyone gives to. And then on tomorrow night, there's another opportunity to help the ARC out as well. So
At the way.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, item B is a motion to amend the Parks Department budget in the amount of $8,000 for the purchase of a new Parks Department vehicle. The fun continues.
Well, we talked at retreat. I gave y'all these, tentatively see these numbers, and so I went on the contract and I pulled what you have in your packet, and there's about a $10,000 difference between the Explorer and then any of the other vehicles. So we are just basing that on the Explorer, a four-wheel drive Explorer with a tow package.
Tony, I need to correct something on this for you all. They're asking for an additional $8,000, but you all are going to amend the budget by the amount of $31,000 because there is no line item in the budget to make this purchase. They have $11,000 in their vehicle replacement fund, and then if we sell the city vehicle as we discussed, that would be added to it, and then she needs an additional $8,000 to make the purchase, but there's no line item in the budget, so the line item has to be for the total amount of the
Okay, so the item B should actually read to amend the budget for $31,000 instead of $8,000, and the $8,000 is just the additional funds that will be needed to purchase on top of the sale of the Tahoe and the Taurus.
And the money that's already in the vehicle replacement.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, John, did we ever sell the old truck that's broken?
No, the old park truck is still there, so.
I don't think we'll get much for it since it doesn't run, but it might be a couple $100.
Yeah, we might get, we were gonna sell it for scrap, but the scrap prices went down so that we're not gonna get much for it for scrap, so we might get $1,000 for it. So that'll be added into this.
All right. Do we have a motion to amend the Parks Department budget in the amount of $31,000 for the purchase of a new Parks Department vehicle? Of course, you all see the funds breakdown on what that's going to do.
I'll make the motion we amend the budget to 31.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, item C is a motion to amend the drug fund, adding $9,500 to equip the 2011 Tahoe police vehicle. Funds will come from a settlement of insurance claims on Burns' 2011 Tahoe. We discussed this, I think, prior to, but do we have a motion to amend the budget?
Motion to amend.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Do you have anything you need to add to this?
No, I mean, we don't have any questions, it's just for TC's burn vehicle and equipment,
Yeah.
the one that I was in, so.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Item D is just, I've appointed Bob Stoller to fill the open spot on the Planning Commission, so next month he will be the new Planning Commissioner. 12 is surplus fire department 1992 E1 mini pumper.
And we might have put 91, 92, because I'd have to go back and look at the title. And the reason is the body is probably a 91, and the truck may be a 92 or vice versa. So I just need to double check what the title of the truck says, because I'm not sure when they built that, it was kind of, you know, the body was one year and the truck was the other, but it's a 91 or 92 slash.
All right. So pieces from both years, like the trucks. All right.
And the history behind that is that's a mini pumper GMC 1-ton chassis, and at the time when it was built, they did not offer a 4-wheel drive. So the
right.
department heads at the time chose to do an aftermarket factory conversion for 4-wheel drive, which ended up being a terrible mistake. And not only the turning radius being an issue, but we keep going through transfer cases and transmissions because of that. And we just can't put any more money in it. We wanted to rebody the body onto a new chassis, but the new chassis are different width and length than they were at the time that 91, 92s were built, so we can't do that. So we just want to don't go those.
All right. Do we have a motion then to surplus the 1991/92 E1 mini pumper?
Motion to surplus.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Get it out of here.
Is there any discussion items anyone like to throw in?
I assume the fish are no longer in.
Fish are gone.
That Burns part?
Brandy and I discussed that we might have more in there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's
I mean, I think it's kind of an equal come in, come out kind of
Balance
thing.
out. Balances
I
out.
didn't
Kinda open door
question all
policy.
that to see.
But in the past, the turtles have just been overwhelming and just takes them on down. It kind of does a cleansing. It's a kind of a cleansing of the pond. And our dive team will go in for the disc golf search and, and they'll look for debris and anything that might float into the pond also. That's in April?
No, has to be after
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah.
All right, and then I guess the only reminder would be to all see you guys all on Saturday evening.
Yes.
So, all right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.